The views, information, and opinions expressed during the following program are solely those of the individuals involved and do not necessarily represent the views of Access Communications, its representatives, or its employees.
Check it out.
What's up? What's up? We're back here for another amazing season here on RezX TV. You're on Access now. It's 2024. We're back in the Res Dome. You know, we're residents of Treaty 4, and we do a lot of great stories this season. I can't wait to share with everybody. You know, we're celebrating 20 years with RezX TV, or RezX itself. Been around a lot longer than that. Back before we were born, you know, because we're only 20, 21 years old right now. But we're looking forward to sharing a lot of great stories this year. It's the 150th anniversary of Treaty 4. We were at everything you possibly can with the team of 2 that we have here, a team of 3. We went to the powwow. I'm just really excited to be able to be back here, you know, bring a little bit of Res Funk, you know, be that resident here on your TV, the locale, the YouTube, all that social media. And before we kick off, this is our season opener right now. I really want to take some time to speak to the founder. You know, when RezX started, how did it start? Where did it come from? And more importantly, it being a lifestyle show for everyone, we want to figure out where we want to go from here. So we'll be right back with RezX founder, Chris Ross. Welcome back. We have actually the original Res boy here from RezX, Chris Ross, man. How's it going?
I'm good.
That's great, man. So a big year, hey? It's like celebrating 20 years of RezX, and that's a nice looking logo as well.
Yeah, thanks. I just
Who'd have thought a boy from the Res could make something like that?
Yeah.
Hey, so tell me about it. How's the adventure been so far? Recognizing the history of it, looking back in your life.
You know, I didn't want to make a big splash about it or anything, but I just thought, well, we should at least do something, and we actually started in February. February was the actual celebration, I guess, like the birthday. But I wanted to wait till the new season of RezX, so unfortunately I wasn't able to get to it until this fall. But at least, you know, it's we got in there in time for this year. And yeah, it's just kind of wanted to celebrate the milestone.
So before RezX, it was like Gen X. But tell me something about 2004 then, when RezX started. What's the first thing you remember when you rebranded it?
I remember we ran an ad in Eagle Feather News, and I just put, you know, RezX coming soon. That's it. That's all I put there, coming from. And then I had a friend in university who was really hyped and excited. He was always pumping me up. His name is Ron Pelly, and he was telling me how excited and it was pretty cool. I was like, oh, I didn't know that an ad could like do that. And then then yeah, that's what we planned, is like Equal. Well, I think was one on the first edition or the second edition. But the very first one was like SAS Native Theatre Company. I think that was them, and I still don't have a copy of that. I don't even have old copies anymore. I don't know where they went. I think Equal does. So Equal, give me that copy, you know, if you want.
Yeah,
if you want to
screenshot that, and you'll print it out.
Yeah,
the printer's not working.
Yeah. Here, no, but I mean, yeah, it was just, it's cool to like go back and think about those things, because it had a lot of reincarnations through the years. So.
Yeah, when you think of the shows, there's lots. I've been a part of like RezX shows from 2005, 2006, like Prince Albert, Saskatoon, Regina. Look to the future now. What are your hopes for RezX?
Well, I'm really hoping here at Access, like RezX becomes more than just a show. That's kind of thing. That's all I'll say. You know, I want it to become
lifestyle. It's not a lifestyle show. We want it to be a lifestyle.
We want it to be like become a bigger part of this, but I see like. It's really time to really establish it more as a media company, looking at like podcasts, films, other types of TV shows. Like, what are all the kinds of things that we can do? And it's not just us doing it. Like, how can we collaborate with other Indigenous creators, media people, influencers, and everybody, just kind of like building one thing. So I hope that what we do here, this is just reports on all the other things that we can do in the future. So that's kind of what I'm looking at.
Right on, Chris. Well, I want to thank you for a little bit of time that you come talk about it. You hear that right now? We're looking for, if you're an artist, if you're a filmmaker, if you're a playwright, if you're a dance troupe, you're doing something cool in your community, or you know somebody that's doing something cool, holler at us. Get a hold of us on our social media. reach out. That's our purpose. We want to be able to showcase your achievements and put you on a pedestal and your highlight, because that's the only reason why we're here. We want everybody to know the lifestyles of our younger generations, our current generations, the older generations, because it's all about the future.
Yeah.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, and I want to thank you for being
brother.
part of it for a long time, and yeah, to the next 20 years.
Yeah, there you go. When we turn 40.
When you turn yes, when you turn 40.
Right on. Thanks, man. We're back here. I'm Brad Bellegarde, your host on RezX TV. Like I mentioned, we have a great season coming up, and kicking it off for Treaty 4 150th anniversary, we were able to go down to the Treaty 4 Fastball Championships. Talked to people from Sapatoyak. We talked to a long-standing, outstanding member of the sports community, and we just chat a little bit of fastball. So here it is from Rambler Park.
Hi, my name is Preston Henry. I'm the tournament organizer. We're organizing the 150th year of signing treaty for Treaty 4 Fastball Championship. This year we have 28 teams, 18 men's, 10 women. So that's an extra 4 teams, I believe, from last year. So so the reason we have this tournament is, you know, we're keeping fastball alive, native fastball. It's a yearly thing. Treaty 4. They have a few events that go on. Golf. They have a parade. They have the powwow, and then there's the fastball tournament. So it's a yearly thing. This year we moved it to Regina with having it at Rambler Park. There's 3 beautiful diamonds here that so we, you know, with the extra teams now, so we're able to host a better tournament.
So you have a lot more teams than past years.
Yes, we have. The teams are up now, which is a good thing. You know, adding the 12 plus, so 12 years and older playing, signing a waiver. That's helped a few teams, you know, being able to enter. So that's a big thing. Yeah. So down here in the south, fastball is a popular sport, especially in, you know, the adult industry. You know, we have the FSIN fastball championships. You have the Treaty 4 Fastball Championships, and then just regular tournaments throughout the year. You know, every weekend someone's hosting a tournament, so it's keeping the game alive. Especially, you know, guys like myself that, you know, organize things like this, and, you know, it's just so guys can, you know, keep playing and get out and be active, and, you know, because we're only young once. So this year we have the defending champions, Weiwei Sakapo, out of Manitoba. They'll be here for 6 p.m. tonight. So they'll defend their title. We have other Manitoba team, Sapatoyak Cree, I believe they're called. Yeah, so we do have some teams coming from Manitoba. Well, there's especially for the urbans, right? You got the urbans. There's programs out there that they can reach out to, especially one's the Gathering Place, RezX. They do have a baseball program in the summer times, so that's something, that's one there. And then just your home reserves, your home communities. Softball for kids is actually, you know, it's growing. You know, more kids are getting involved. You know, tournaments like this, they look up to these older guys, and they, you know, they want to play in these adult tournaments, right? So they start at a young age. I played when I was younger, and it wasn't for me. I just didn't catch any interest in it. I was more of a working kind of guy, so that's it. But I do, like I said, I do enjoy, you know, putting things like this together. You know, hockey, when hockey winter comes, it's hockey tournaments and stuff like that. So yeah, so that's kind of where I like to, you know, I get involved, is running tournaments and stuff like that, organizing. So just, you know, everybody have fun, and, you know, it's just, remember, at the end of the day, it's just a game. So, you know, there is a money prizes for top 3. So other than that, just, have fun, be safe, and safe travels to everybody that's traveling here. So it happens every year in September. It's usually our second week or third week in September. So next year we're I'm not sure who's going to host, but hopefully it's someone that chooses Regina again. So we can definitely get it out there, and we'd have more people come out and take part in the celebration.
On the outside. Bringing up Dorian Akapu, now bringing it back, Coleman Kashabottom.
I'm Morley Watson. I am the umpire-in-chief here at the 2024 Treaty 4 First Nation Fastball Championships here at Rambler Park in Regina. Well, pretty much all my life, so I would say, 40 years, player, coach, umpire. So I stay with the game by being involved with an umpire, but we've played in this great tournament, we've coached in it, and to stay involved, we're doing some umpiring. So it's really a good way for our teams, both men and women, to kind of wrap up the fastball season. We start in May, June, July, August, tournaments, provincials, North American Indigenous games when they're being held. It's a good season, but unfortunately it goes by very, very quickly. So we always look forward to this tournament as a good way to kind of wrap up the fastball season. Yeah, softball in general in Saskatchewan and in Canada has been in an awful decline, say, the last 10, 15 years. The emergence of slow pitch, the lack of quality pitchers. There's been a lot of reasons why the game of fastball has declined, and it's a game that all you need is an old ball diamond on the reserve, and that's why we play it. Really is because that really is our summer. A lot of our kids play baseball, but softball is kind of the game of choice in our First Nation communities. So I think that's why it's so popular in our First Nation communities. Is it's not that pricey a game to play, and most of our communities have that ball facilities which promote the game. So I think that's why it continues to do well in our southern communities, as soccer is in our northern communities. So it's a good game, and a lot of our communities are involved in it, and that's why I think it has the popularity in our First Nation communities. Well, one of the perks you get as a coach or a manager, or even as a parent, is you get to see your children play at a very elite level. Nationals, Softball Canada has nationals for the different age groups. And this year, we not only had a U17 team from Ochapowace playing the nationals, but we had young girls in the U13, 15, and 17 play in the national championship. So they're joining the best fastball players in all of Canada, and that speaks well for them. And we do have North American Indigenous games, we have Softball Canada Nationals, we have a lot of good things at the very elite level, and the good thing is our kids are playing in them. So that speaks well for them, their parents, and our First Nation communities who support them. Well, it can get costly, and you see today a lot of the parents, the grandparents, the communities fundraising so our children can compete, and that's a good thing. Our chiefs and councils are always supportive of our teams, but the onus really falls to the parents to find ways and means to ensure the kids have enough finances. And a credit to the parents, grandparents, and communities is there's a lot of fundraising going on, and all that means is our kids can compete. They have all the equipment, the air travel, hotels, meals. They're very expensive, but our communities always come to the aid of our young athletes, and that's very, very good to see. Yeah, absolutely. It's good fastball. The men's is very competitive. The ladies, we have 10 teams this year. We're hoping to always get to 12 or 16 teams, but some of our teams are a little bit young right now, and but we're hoping next year to have this made perhaps here, because we think our kids should be on the best diamonds possible. Facilities wise, this is a great place, and really when you get down to the semifinals and the finals, those are usually one-run ball games. So it's tremendous, and our First Nation people and non-Indigenous people come out and watch it. It's good fastball, it's good entertainment, and people, if the weather's good, enjoy it. And like I say, it's a tremendous way to really wrap up the ball season.
Hello, my name is Alex Moore. I'm originally from Sabataya Cree Nation, which is part of Treaty 4 in Pelican Rapids, Manitoba. But I live in Vancouver, and I've been coming to Treaty 4 for many years, since probably 1985. And I'll introduce my team here. I'll pass the mic on to the next guy here.
Good evening. My name is Ben Leask. I'm from Sabataya Cree Nation. Thank you very much. I play first base. And
Hello, my name is Domi Leask. I play shortstop, second. We're looking pretty good here, pretty solid. All the boys are here. Everybody's looking sharp. Today it's pretty cold today, but I think we'll work through it. The wind's coming our way. Yeah, from Pelican Rapids, Manitoba.
Good evening, Frankie God 314, Sabataya Cree Nation. Good to be here with the boys again. Been a while, but I think we're gonna have fun.
Hello, Darren Monroe, Sapatoyak. Our team used to be called PRCC back in the day. A few guys here that were in the team, and we used to come here 3 to 4 back in the day.
My name is Omer Leask. I'm from Sapatoyak. I've been playing with these boys. They off and on and always crying for me.
I'm Horace Cook. I've been playing for a while for Sapatoyak, so good to be back.
Hello, my name is Brad Lees. I'm originally from Pelican Rapids, Sapatoyak Cree Nation. I'll be pitching for Treaty 4, Sapatoyak, and I'll pass it on to the next guy.
Hey guys, my name's Casey Lees. I'm originally from Sapatoyak Cree Nation. I'm here to play baseball in Treaty 4. It's nice to see you.
My name is Wilfred Leask. I play outfield, and it's a good day today, I guess. I'm from Pelican Rapids, Cree Nation, Manitoba.
Hello, my name is Keith Caribou. I'm from Sandy Bay, Saskatchewan. It's a good day to come out with the boys, play ball. I'm outfield.
Yes, that's Sabataya Cree Nation. They've been coming and participating in the Treaty 4 games for many years. And this is a younger team. We used to have an older team who used to play. So hopefully the young guys pick up the game and stay with the game. And it's a good game to play. It brings people together. It's like a family gathering. And we're happy to be here this year.
Boom, there you have it. Taking a look at a fastball, it's so inspiring to see all of our First Nations youth, First Nations communities coming together. The Treaty 4 championships that happened right here in Regina, Saskatchewan at Rambler Park. Those championships were great to hear from people from Sapatoyak. You hear from somebody like Morley Watson, who's been involved in the Indigenous sports community for decades now. And it did look kind of cold there, but speaking of Treaty 4, we had our ups and downs with the weather. It was super hot at the beginning. I was out there setting up some teepees, and then later in the week it got a little cold and windy. And speaking of the climate, it's getting hot in here. You guys probably don't know that song, but when I was 0 years old, 20 years ago, it was a hit. And we're going to speak to something else that happened at Treaty 4. And it's the Treaty 4 youth voices on Climate Action Forum. So we speak to a few individuals and learn about what's important for us to be able to sustain our environment right here in Treaty 4. RezX TV.
Keep dancing. If you're getting all squished up, back up a little bit. If you're getting squished up, back up a little bit. So do you know any friends that are coming out tomorrow? They're here again tomorrow. From noon till 1, let your friends know.
I think that if it wasn't for SIN and Fatherless Capel and Pasco writing letters, the project would have been rubber stamped and done by now. Instead, the federal government has stepped in and said that at least one of the 3 phases has to have an impacts assessment. The other 2, they haven't decided yet, meaning that once the project's proposed, it goes back to the federal government to determine whether it needs to be an impact assessment.
I'm sorry, I have a question. My name is Danielle Mosquito. I'm from Nicanit. We've had a flood there recently, well, not recently, maybe 20 years ago, but we have dams that are hydraulic dams that are built in Canada, all over the country. A lot of them are obsolete. They don't serve any purpose. So I mean, removing those dams would actually help the water flow and the environment. So how do we essentially advocate for those kinds of things?
Hi, my name is Bailey Pratt from Causes First Nation, and I was just wondering, what are some effective ways to combat water pollution in our everyday lives, like as individuals? Like, what can we do on a more personal scale, like on a more personal level?
Like, as far as we know that water and pollution doesn't know a border, but to be consulted with, kind of like that idea of if we had our own ethics board in those areas, having something that's already there with a set of guidelines and rules, how would that help us?
My question follows his in that more than once, especially during harvest time, in the last 3 days, I saw in the middle of the night going home from work, 3 farmers dumping off the waters from those big tanks or the whatever, pesticides on the sloughs on the side of the road. And then I've seen that on my reserve where I actually reported it. So why are not, whether it's First Nation or not, why are people not held accountable? Some First Nation people I know are really self-conscious about the environment, and some people take pride in not using these pesticides. I know that, I've farmed myself, but I'm wondering about the people that are dumping off these pesticides. Why are they not having, and then why can we not fish in our lakes? 2 summers ago, I saw a lot of dead fish along the lake for no reason, and a lot of green. I took pictures of them. Water's been my interest, and I wanted to bring someone to my school, Pasco First Nation, talk about the issues about water. I've talked about it a lot of times. Water is life. I have a beautiful poster, Water is Life, in my classroom. I hang it there every year. I look for it every year to put it on my wall. I also have pictures of fish species. We talk about surface water, water in the air, water everything, and I know it's important.
Yeah, I'm speaking to the Youth Climate Symposium about climate and land use effects on water quality in Treaty 4 waters. You know, there's a general feeling the water's pretty green, but the question is it more green than it should be? And the answer is yes, and I tried to tell people or give them some ideas about what causes the problems in water quality and what they might do to address it and what the future might look like. Sure, I mean, one of the main ones is climate warming. As it gets warmer, the water gets greener, and with about 3 degrees more temperature, which is about what we expect to occur, we expect twice as much toxic algae in the lakes. And the reason is we've seen in the past in very warm years, the water gets very green and you get a lot of the toxic algae, and in cooler years, not so much. So if we're gonna get 3 to 5 degrees warmer in the future, then we're absolutely gonna get more cyanobacteria, blue-green algae. Also, farmland activities are going to have an effect, and in particular, drainage. There's a proposal by the province to remove half of all the wetlands in Treaty 4 and Treaty 6. And in doing so, they're going to allow all the pollution to get away from the wetlands, which act like sponges, get into the rivers and get into the lakes downstream. So a lot of the protection has to do with having legislation and having rights that are protected. So inherent and treaty rights are absolutely essential to protecting the water, because it says in treaty that you have access as long as the sun shines and the grass grows. And so right now, I think there's too much restriction of water protection, and it doesn't really recognize the treaty. The practical thing that people can do is to also talk to the MLAs, talk to the government, say we're not willing to allow the water quality to stay the way it is. It's much worse than it used to be prior to treaty. It's gotten worse because of agriculture. It's gotten worse because of urban pollution. It needs to be fixed. Civilization is based on having clean water. Without clean water, you can't have civilization. A lot of industry that we've come to depend on also requires clean water. And then all of the species that we need as food, as a resource, as medicines, they also require clean water. There is a natural way in the environment to clean the water. It goes up into the atmosphere and it comes down relatively clean. But as soon as it hits the land, we start to pollute it. And so things we can do to protect that, to reduce the pollution, are absolutely essential going forward. And this isn't just about First Nations right, it isn't about settler rights, it's about everybody. Water doesn't lie, water runs downhill, and it always will. So it'll go from a place where it's pure to a place where it's polluted, and unless we make sure that the path is clear, the water quality will get worse in the future. Water is essential for farming, so it's important that First Nations and settler and farmers all work together. Water gets water, most farmers will tell you that. If you have landscape water, you've got rivers, creeks, wetlands, then this water evaporates and it provides the rains that allow the crops to grow later in the year. You drain those wetlands, you remove the water source, and it damages the climate system, and that affects everybody. You know, most of the farms are on groundwater. These wetlands and water sources are derived from overland water, so it drains off the land, it hits a wetland and it sinks into the ground, and that becomes your drinking water. It's important for cattle watering, it's important for domestic uses. So there really isn't life without water. You know, it sounds almost cliche, water is life, but it isn't. It really is. We're 90% water by weight. We're born as fish practically. You know, we have gills in the womb. And so water is so essential to how we do anything that I think to think of it as only a science thing or only a farming thing or only a First Nations thing, it's the wrong way to go forward. It's for everybody.
Well, there you have it, episode 1 from our newest season of RezX TV here on Access Now, RezX TV. I'm Brad Bellegarde, I'm your host. What an awesome kickoff to the season. Treaty 450th anniversary signing. We've got to check out a little bit of fastball, get to hear a little bit about climate action, and more importantly, talk to the founder and creator of RezX. I'm celebrating 20 years, Chris Ross. You know, it was awesome to have him here on the panel. You know, it started out, when we started out here a few years ago, it was me, Chris, and Tyler. Went through a pandemic. You know, we were social distancing. We had masks on. Death Row even sponsored us for one episode. And we want to keep this show going. So if you know anyone in your community or you yourself have something going on, you have a tournament, a basketball tournament or something like that, you're doing something that's going to benefit the community and all the youth, reach out to us. Check us out on Facebook. It's just RezX. Type that in your search engine. Follow us, like us. I don't know what it's called. Give us a thumbs up. All that good stuff. And we'll be back next week with another amazing episode celebrating Treaty 4. Thanks again for tuning into RezX TV, our first episode of the season. We're going to be back next week with another amazing, amazing bunch of stories for everybody. I'm Brad Bellegarde, your host, and you're on Access Now watching RezX TV.
Okay, and 3, 2, 1.
I'm on this one though?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, let's do it.
3, 2, 1.
If you'd like to share your feedback on the program you just watched, contact us today